Okay, I'm back.
Model appearing
You see, I told you, bro. I told you.
to hinge on their involvement, which the site was not afraid to outwardly admit. What is the
Like, do you see the shit I gotta deal with, bro?
first thing you look for on our deal pages? We understand. Go ahead, check out our deal attendants. They sure are stunning. Vote for your favorite deal attendant for a chance to win a one-on-one VIP video chat with one of the girls. You will find our models
Now here, this is where I was basically saying, you find our models are not only beautiful, but also fun and interesting to talk to. I was basically saying right here that basically these bitches, they ain't shit, bruh. Like, they're bland, they're tasteless, they're not that interesting. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say that shit, but it's true, bruh. Like here's the thing, like, bitches are terrible friends, bro. They're so shit, dog. Like, all you're doing is just wasting your time when you're with them, bruh. Like, they're already wasting time with their eggs and shit the way it rots as they age. Like, it even matches their looks too. Now, bruh, they're so, bruh, it's just that they just, bruh, bitches ain't shit, bruh. It's just that, just hoes and tricks. That's it. There's only so few that are interesting, though. There's only so few that are just like, you know what, nah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you go ahead and basically ask a bitch, like, this is why motherfuckers don't really give a fuck about personality, because it's like, it's just so low quality. It just seems like a discharge, though, you know what I'm saying? It's like they just so shit like that.
are not only beautiful, but also fun and interesting to talk to. Just have fun. Feel free to bask in the glory of your win, and be the envy of your friends. After all, not everyone gets to brag
They're only interesting in the bed, that's the thing. To hang out with them and shit, nah.
about video chatting with supermodels. The process of voting for the best deal attendant
And here's the thing, is it possible that men and bitches can be friends? Yes, but also no. And also it's because we don't want to be. So not only is it yes and no, but also it's because we don't want to be. So basically 2 out of 3, we can't be friends.
was something that they heavily pushed, going as far
We can be friends with benefits, absolutely. Because like, here's the thing, when it comes to bitches, bro, I don't have bitches I'm not friends with any bitches, bro. Only with benefits, though.
as to reward one voter each week with the aforementioned private video call. And when discussing these calls, they not so subtly hinted that they weren't just ordinary video.
The only thing interesting about bitches, though, is that basically the stories they tell. Like, when it comes to the shit that they basically have to deal with, or like when it comes to the shit they seen before or have been involved with, the stories they tell, it's only that, though. It's only their stories. Other than that, they are so... They are, like, personality-wise, they are internally recessed.
Video chats. Rating, you will be talking to real successful fashion models with exciting backgrounds. Many are big aviation fans, so you will have a lot to talk about. You never know. Vote, win, chat. You never know.
But then again, at the same time, I can make exceptions, though. But that's only so few.
The allusion to sex was way more prevalent on the site than even on the channel,
with this line seeming to hint that winning these video calls could entail some sort of sexual encounter with the deal attendant, which only seems to bolster this theory even more. But unlike the channel, here we're at least given a bit more context as to why these women or deal attendants are being used, and according to the site, it wasn't as sinister as it seems. Under the business section, which is used as an FAQ for companies wanting to promote their deals on Aviloop, they wrote, "What is the deal with deal attendants? As a business, you have the option to include a professional video of one of our stunning models on your deal page for a flat fee. She will deliver a 30 to 60 second message
Flat fee. Pay for okay.
describing your promotion. Our deal attendants are real professional models who work for high-end clients. Why should I include a deal attendant? Although our promotions get a lot of exposure, adding a deal attendant has the potential of making it viral on social media sites. Promotions that include a video tend to be extra successful." There's a lot to unpack here. For starters, this explains how Aviloop makes their money. They're basically charging companies to run ads using these deal attendants, and the videos on their channel are examples of what these ads would look like. Though calling them professional is extremely generous, and I can't imagine any companies actually wanting to use this service. And given that these are the only videos that they shared, I don't think many, if any, actually did. But in this explanation, Aviloop is all but admitting to using these deal attendants to rope people into visiting their website, over-sexualizing them to lure in perverted internet users, giving them false hope that they'd be able to interact with these women and maybe even sleep with them. And in exchange...
But why is that even a fucking maybe though? What else are they good for? I mean, you can pimp them to make money off them, but that's about it.
These users keep coming back to the site under this false hope, which maybe could lead to them purchasing something. It's an insane business model, and one that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, they're claiming that this is a service for professionals and real aviation fans, for the primary reason of making our skies safer, yet they aren't actually offering anything but the prospect of talking to women. These women are the main and really only draw of the service, and even the deals that they did list seem to contradict the primary goal of this company. I mean, how would a trip to the museum help with aviation safety? And how would a temporary tattoo help with that either? And on the topic of these tattoos, they're also extremely sexual in nature. They were meant to mimic pilot stripes and be put on your shirtless shoulders, with a package reading, "When a uniform just won't do," and the description adding all sorts of innuendos.
And this is a good time to point
shoulders, with a package reading, "When a uniform just won't do," and the description adding all sorts of innuendos.
Okay.
And this is a good time to point out just how strange the writing is across the entire website. As here they write,
"What better way to thank a pilot than by saying, 'Captain, you deserve to have your epaulets tattooed. We wish someone had these on board of the Miracle on the Hudson flight.' Just imagine the look on the pilot's face if someone handed these to him. So why not keep a pair in your wallet and thank the Sully in your life for the next flight? Every safe..."
Okay, so I suppose here's the thing. You can drain my dick pair and keep the pair in my wallets full.
Landing deserves recognition, and this gift is sure to make their day.
How's that?
everything is written like this. It's not only sexual, it's also nonsensical, and feels like it was written by AI at a time when AI wasn't even a thing. Everything about Aviloop feels wrong. The lack of any tangible goods and services, the overly convoluted business structure, and the lack of any public customers just makes this company appear so fake. But that doesn't inherently mean that they were actually involved in pornography or prostitution. I mean, despite all these innuendos, there is no direct mention of the sale of sex anywhere on the website from what I could see. And unfortunately, much of the website is lost to time, as in 2016 the site would go down, replaced by another random URL, making it impossible to know what this platform was actually like for those who signed up for it. What were they actually being offered? What were they discussing amongst themselves? And what happened on...
Oh. There was basically shades on the fucking table though, so he was throwing shade instead of getting shade though. But he needs shade because he's a skin cancer magnet.
These video calls. It's all unknown, as what I've shown is pretty much all I was able to salvage from the Wayback Machine. However, Aviloop didn't stay down forever. In 2019, Aviloop.com re-emerged, only this time it looked very different. Gone were the deals, the business model, and most importantly, the deal attendants, and in its place was what looked to be a generic template website. They still claimed to offer some of their services, but they were now left even more vague, and there was no attempt to even make it look like you could purchase anything. Even the innuendos were gone. It was quite literally as bare bones as it gets, and comes across like a sham website, void of any notable information, with one exception. There was a single new addition to the site, as at the very bottom you could find a short bio, not of a deal attendant, but of a legitimate pilot named Nadia Marinko.
Okay, this one doesn't look like a guy, but this motherfucker has mad features, bruh. It's in the chin, like what the fuck is that, bruh? What the fuck is that knee for? Bruh, and this Rio de Janeiro ass bridge over here kind of looks like a finger. Why? It kind of looks like a cylinder? No, it looks like a square, but no, a triangle. What? A rectangle, bro. What am I saying, bro? And this motherfucker, the bone structure, the face, it kind of looks like, it looks concaved. Like like this chin is extremely forward. And also at the same time, it could be the illusion of the cheekbones. But the bone orbitals, I won't say that it's hollow, but it's like sunken in. Big ass ears.
The creator of Aviloop. This revelation is huge, as Nadia Marenko was a well-known and extremely successful pilot, which makes Aviloop all the more confusing, as you would think that her involvement in the company would
Okay. Okay, now this looks extremely confusing. This looks like a button nose, bruh. Like, this shit looks bruised forward, bruh.
help legitimize.
Like, here's the thing. The bitch face was basically okay looking in the front, but then now it just looks even slightly uglier, though. Like, it had some ugly features, just slight bits of it, but then now it just shows more, though.
It and make it seem more.
There's ugly pieces in all angles, though. Like, the bitch is not ugly, but the bitch has ugly features, though. Has ugly parts.
More likely that Aviloop was a real company after all, but instead, it actually did the exact opposite.
But the back of the head makes it look younger, though. When you turn around, it looks old.
As her involvement plunges this mystery into a whole.
And also, this bitch kind of looks like it's it looks like it's supposed to be younger, and it looks old. But at the same time, it looks like those old genetics is trying to fight to look young. But it looks like one of those where it's like, its face looks like it's 40, but it's trying to fight to look like it's 29. Just to come find out that the bitch is actually 36. At lowest 34.
New depth. A depth far darker than we've yet to discuss. Born in Czechoslovakia in
Okay. All these bitches look emaciated.
1986, Nadia dedicated her younger years to modeling, landing multiple high-profile roles in her country. And by the age of just 15, these roles led to her being moved to the United States.
Kind of looks like a bobblehead though, like when it comes to the disproportions though.
To help continue this budding career. But by 20, her interest had shifted to a different kind of runway.
Just like
she became obsessed with flying and had a natural talent for.
Oh, you see? You see? There we go. There we go. This is a start. It can be much, much better, but this is a start.
Two, quickly.
Like, I'll take. Oh yeah, this is it right here. This is the thumbnail right here.
Rising through the ranks and gaining certifications faster than most others could at that age. By 25, she was considered extremely.
I was right. It's a 1 out of 10.
Accomplished for someone so young, and her resume would soon reach a wider audience when she began leveraging social media.
I don't know if this shit's copyright. Nah. Yeah, the bitch on its knees like it should be doing. So what if the shits hurts? What if those caps hurt? So what?
She posted videos under the alias Gulfstream Girl, and eventually Global Girl, where she marketed herself as a supermodel turned pilot, which worked to the tune of millions of views. Nadia Marenko was a star in the aviation world and on social media too, and it was during the height of the success that she started Aviloop. It clearly wasn't meant to be some big secret either. She actively promoted it on numerous occasions, doing interviews on podcasts and even taking it to a trade show. If this was a front for something nefarious, she was doing a bad job of keeping it discreet, which seems to back up our first theory. And it would be very easy to settle on that theory and just call it a day, had being a model and a pilot been all that Nadia was known for. You see, there was something that she was hiding from her audience, a secret in the form of a bond with one man whom she was working closely with at the time that Aviloop was launched. A man by the name...
Woohoo! Yo! Huh! Now, that's the start of a plot twist. It's not really a plot twist, but at the same time, it's like the signs were there. But that's a great, great start. It's not even a piece of a start. That is a great start. Now we can, now, okay.
of Jeffrey
But don't fucking disappoint me, okay? Don't.
Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested on new sex trafficking charges.
Charges of soliciting and procuring minors for prostitution.
He was involved in trafficking young
Whoa. This looks sick. I like
women
this. Especially with the fucking, the editing and everything.
and children over to Little
I hate the fact that they were redacted.
St. James.
It would be a problem if they, like here's the thing. If they redacted the ones that actually do matter, then okay. But a majority of them don't, so it's fine. Which makes it a problem. Uncensor them.
In case you're somehow unaware, Jeffrey Epstein
And even when it comes to me, I'd be forgetting to, like, you know what? Put, like, the sign here, this, that, 1, 3, like, warning, this, that. But, there's this over here. You know what I'm saying?
is the most prolific
Also, this one. There's this one over here. Fuck, my finger's gone. I mean, I'm not fingering it, but... Well, okay, I kinda am.
pedophile and human trafficker maybe of all time. He carried out a large-scale human trafficking operation,
I've never heard this motherfucker talk until this interview.
bringing children to his private island that he and other elites exploited in horrific ways. It's one of the biggest news stories of my lifetime, and over the past years there's been so much talk surrounding the acquaintances of Epstein. Who is connected with him and how close were they? But of all these people in Epstein's circle, few, if any,
Here's the thing. All of this will blow over because... Yeah.
were closer to him than Nadia Marenko. It's a difficult subject to discuss, but Nadia is considered one of Epstein's victims.
Now, is it possible that basically they might be related? I can see the similarities in their ears.
He found her through her modeling job when she was
Also the eyes as well.
just a teenager.
And she didn't just come to the United States
More of the nose than the eyes, but I see some resemblances.
It's for work.
But maybe they just happen to look so very alike.
Epstein himself brought her after allegedly purchasing her from her father.
What followed was Nadia becoming his self-described sex slave. It's a horrible and unimaginable fate. But while Nadia...
What the fuck are those eyes? What are those eyes? What is that? What is? Yo, that's crazy. Yo. Bro, nah. Bro, no. Here's the thing. I know, bro. These eyes are crazy. Yo, bro. This shit looks like a platypus, bro. Bro, no. I know the orbitals are fucked up in there. The bone structure is bad, bro. Yo. No. Yo. Bruh. No. Imagine basically you're just high as fuck, right? You're walking down, you're about to... Literally, actually, when you go anywhere, you walk down, or you're in the house, or you're on the way home, or you're basically walking somewhere, or even during the day, when you're just basically just blowing smoke, or when you eat the edibles, and then you're just high as shit, just basically walking, as in you're one of those that basically smoke za and then walk. You basically you basically get up on your feet, move some places, and then next thing, midway when it comes to wherever you're going to or from, you see this. Just basically standing there. It reminds me of that one scene from The Smile 2. There was this one motherfucker that was basically like a blob of shit with like a stretch belly though. And like I don't know how many patty whoppers is that one though. And then basically the nigga was basically standing down there in the way. And the bitch with the blonde hair had the demon inside of it though. And basically it was walking, it looked, and there was a guy inside of the house just standing there looking crazy, just smiling and everything, and the fucking the hair is fucked up and everything. It's just hanging down low. And then you see this. I'm not gonna front, bruh. I was shit absolute bricks, bruh. Like I'm like when it comes to Smile 2, me and horror movies, bruh, we don't get together, bruh. I can't be high while I can't watch horror movies high, bruh. I was shit so hard, bruh. Now imagine coming across this though. This is crazy. Yo.
Appear to have been a victim of Epstein. That wasn't all she was, as after becoming an adult, she also became Epstein's accomplice.
A slave assistant.
When Epstein was first investigated by the FBI back in the 2000s, many of his victims came forward and claimed that Nadia was not only present for their abuse, but she was a willing participant, there to satisfy Epstein's criminal sexual desires by, on occasion, directly participating in sexual abuse and prostitution of
the background sound, the music.
Minor girls. Now, Epstein was eventually given a sweetheart deal for these crimes in 2008, which led to him serving just 13 months in prison. And as part of that deal, Nadia was given complete immunity, meaning she never faced any sort of repercussions for her use of children. But despite being a free woman by the time that Epstein was thrown in jail, she stood by his side, living in his New York City home, waiting for his release.
No, but that could be too soon for me to say.
And while he was behind...
Let me see how down this bitch is though, and I mean that in both ways. For the guy.
Behind bars, Nadia would visit him roughly 70 times. These two were deeply connected, even well after...
But it's just like, here's the thing. The reason why it just seems dramatic though is because I don't usually see my creation, like basically my demons just exist out of me though, you know what I'm saying? I don't normally see that.
She was his slave, with Nadia even making a scrapbook for Epstein, which is just so terrifying that I had to at least mention it in this video.
Okay, and? The little teeth. Just look at Tim's, bro.
It would be several years later in 2012, a time when Nadia had long since left Epstein's home and his control,
that Nadia would rejoin his operation, this time with a brand new role. She became one of Epstein's pilots, taking victims.
I told you, billionaires are connected to airports and airplanes, bro.
And perpetrators alike to and from the island.
On the plane they dubbed the Lolita Express.
Oh!
What happened on the Lolita Express?
Everything that happened on the Lolita Express and his other planes
Lolita sex slave dolls
was the same thing that happened in his bedrooms and the massage rooms. The abuse did not stop because we're in the air. Jeffrey couldn't take a 2-hour flight without having to ejaculate. Like, that's how sick this man was.
Nadia Marenko was directly trafficking children for Epstein, and she was doing this.
You know, I get it. Like, an idea, I get it. I understand as to why these millionaires and billionaires would want to chill with this guy. I get it.
In 2012, mere months after she started Aviloop. Which brings us to our third and most upsetting theory. that Aviloop wasn't a cover for prostitution, but rather a front for child trafficking and pedophilia. Nadia's involvement alone and the timing of the company's launch, mixed with all the innuendos, the red flags, it all starts to make sense. And it's made even more disturbing when you look at the videos they posted on YouTube, as one thing I failed to mention so far is just how young these deal attendants look. There's obviously no way to conclusively determine their age from the footage, but some believe that they look to be teenagers. And
Nah. Some? Nah. Bitches age, bruh.
maybe even underaged.
Some in unconventional what the fuck ways though, you know what I'm saying? But they age.
Which would make sense for this theory, as the deal attendants would
Like they all look like they're in their mid-20s, if not their late 20s.
be prostitutes, but rather child victims. It's a theory that has to be considered. I mean, as crazy as it seems, Aviloop was quite literally founded and run by a child trafficker who was actively trafficking children when the company started.
And Nadia wasn't the only sketchy character involved in the site behind the scenes.
Bro, this face looks crazy. But it's like it's basically like when you just like lower down the brightness though, you know what I'm saying?
Epstein himself was as well. The two frequently emailed each other, and in multiple instances, Aviloop was discussed, with Epstein frequently giving her advice. In one email, he wrote to her, "Website is cool, mix of porn, Groupon, and flying. The marketing campaign could be, buy with us, we give a flying fuck." His mentioning of porn here is just more confirmation that Aviloop wasn't just an aviation company, but this also shows that Epstein was helping with the company, and he wasn't just doing this through friendly advice. Throughout his emails, you can also find dozens of receipts from transactions with Aviloop, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars of payments sent directly to the company. Jeffrey Epstein was an
Bruh, this guy he looks like a shaved monkey, bro. Like, look at him.
investor in Aviloop, and a big one too. And he seemed to believe in the service
And yet they want to project it onto my people. Oh, okay.
so much that he even appeared to use it himself, as emails show him inquiring about booking flights through the company. Nadia at one point even offered to help Epstein through Aviloop, writing, "Is there anything I can do for you? I can find a deal through Aviloop on anything you..."
I like this as well. Like the boxes over here. I'm not saying the redaction, but I like the blocks that are, you know what I'm saying? I like these.
want. Airplanes,
Like the text blocks I like.
helicopters, cheapest charters, discounted fuel, or a new model/assistant. She's literally offering Jeffrey Epstein a model through Aviloop, which more than hints at this theory being possible. I mean, she spells it out. And if they were in fact trafficking children through this service, this could give us a blueprint to how they were able to get their victims. Maybe they were finding models and having them fly out under the assumption that modeling is all they would be doing. Maybe these videos were even their tryouts for their roles, which they did without even realizing what was to come. I mean, these women were referred to as models on the Aviloop website. And remember, modeling is exactly how Epstein found Nadia. And it's also how he found so many other victims, as he was known to use the modeling industry as a means of recruiting young and underage women, offering them high-paying jobs and potentially career-making opportunities, in order to lure them in. So maybe this was all part of the operation.
Which is okay, but to only those that don't matter.
Or maybe Nadia was simply taking a page from his book, and using the same style of entrapment that he used on her. It's so disturbing to even consider. And there's one more email that I believe is the most disturbing of all, that could allude to their alleged trafficking. An email with the subject line, "Old Terry Coconuts. I ordered sweet young coconuts from Thailand for you, and they just arrived. Very yummy. I was going to ship them to you in Paris, but I hear you are coming back, so I will send them to 71st with Sarah, just so you don't have to drink juices from Old Terry things." Epstein was
I have an idea. Are they gonna drink out of their pussies? Out of their holes?
notorious for using code words in his messages, and it's not hard to see what Nadia may have meant by sweet young coconuts. So was it a joke or was it a coded message? It's hard to say, but this email was sent on November 13th, 2011, just 2 months after the launch of Aviloop.
Welcome to Aviloop, your collective buying website for anything aviation.
So what was Aviloop? Well, to this day, we still don't have a true answer, but everyone has their theories, and most of them are not good. Many legitimately believe that Aviloop was a front for child trafficking, and I can see why. The connections and the strange material on the website and the channel make this impossible to write off as just some crazy conspiracy theory. And if this theory were to be believed, it makes the Aviloop YouTube channel that much more disturbing, as these videos would be advertisements for a human trafficking service that potentially included the victims as the stars.
It's also possible that this was a hub for prostitution, and while sex work doesn't always mean human trafficking, just given the players involved, that would definitely still be a concern. There's also still the possibility that Aviloop was secretly a porn website, like Epstein seemed to suggest in his email, with this content perhaps occurring on those one-on-one video calls. And there was one email that I found that was sent from Epstein's assistant, Story Cowles, that makes this feel even more believable, as Epstein asks him what he was up to which Story responds, "Just playing online at Aviloop. Pouring rain."
Pouring rain, as in like you're basically throwing money in the air, the money shower, or just golden showers you give to bitches though. And there's Aviloop when it comes to 3 holes, the O's.
Love it. Love it.
The way these people communicate is just so weird and hard to decipher, but playing online at Aviloop certainly seems to suggest that this wasn't just a typical daily deals website. And if porn really was the draw, I think given the secrecy of it and the people connected, I would still be very concerned about where they were getting these actresses, and if they were even of age. Nadia's legal team has pushed back on these theories, claiming she was merely Epstein's victim and nothing more, and someone who allegedly worked at Aviloop claimed that the ad campaign was merely meant to be provocative, and that's all. But this just feels so hard to believe. And regardless of which, if any of these theories are true, it seems so obvious to me that Aviloop was never meant to just be a normal company. I even question if perhaps Nadia had created Aviloop as a fake website, which Epstein could then funnel money into in order to make it look like Nadia was earning legitimate income, something that she needed to prove in order to get her US visa, which her emails to Epstein show she was clearly struggling with. And she seemed to allude to this at least being part of her reasoning for creating Aviloop in the first place, and part of the reason why she was asking Epstein for money. And ultimately, the only way she ended up getting that visa was through a deal that she made with the FBI that involved her informing them on Epstein's crimes. Her work directly helped lead to his 2019 arrest, and his ultimate death inside his jail cell that same year.
And it was around the same time that Aviloop went back online with its fresh, scrubbed look, void of anything even close to being sexual. And since then, it's never been updated again. And there's hardly been any updates from Nadia herself either. She made a brief appearance in a 2019 YouTube video where she—
Why the— Hold up. Nah, this bitch looks like somebody I know. I mean, they all look the same, but this hairstyle, bruh. It looks like one of the teachers I know. Of course, there's no link to them though, but
pulled a prank on a flying instructor,
Acting as an inexperienced student, only to surprise the instructor with how skilled she was, with Nadia going as far as to dress as a child.
But since then, her trail goes pretty much cold, and once the Epstein files started releasing around 2024,
She disappeared from the public eye. Bizarrely, from that point on, the only trace of her seems to have come from images and videos from a monastery, which she seems to have joined.
Nadia Marinko's work with the FBI and the immunity that she was given all those years ago makes it feel unlikely that she'll ever be prosecuted, or even investigated for whatever this whole operation was. The reality, though, is that we don't know the full truth about Aviloop, and it's involved in one of the most twisted and deep rabbit holes in human history. A rabbit hole filled with so many layers and cover-ups and corruption that I just hope that somewhere within all of it, we can eventually find an answer to the question, what was Aviloop? But until then, it will remain one of the darkest mysteries not only on YouTube, but across the entire internet.
I like the ending, like the
Hey guys, I actually have a super last minute update here. I'd completely finished this video, but there was something that was still bothering me. The question of who were these deal attendants? I initially tried looking for information that could give us an ID, but everything was just wild speculation. But I decided to give it one last look, and I'm glad that I did because I actually think I identified 2 of them. I found an article that reported one of them as being a woman named Shannon Cusack, which explained that Shannon was actually a friend and maybe even roommate of Nadia at the time that she was starting up Aviloop, and at the time of filming this ad, she was actually in her mid-20s. It seems like she might have just been helping Nadia out at the time with this. She even listed the job on her LinkedIn supposedly, though it's now since been removed. The other deal attendant that I might have found was Ashley, and it was actually thanks to a YouTube comment. And what's interesting about her was that she was a model, but she was also in her mid-20s around the time of filming this. And based on her blog, she continued to have a normal modeling career and seemingly normal life after her time working with Aviloop, before she sadly passed away from cancer. And from what I've seen, there isn't much to hint that she was ever a victim of anything Epstein related. This is huge because a lot of people were falsely claiming that this girl was Ashley Martinez, a missing girl whose family is still searching for her to this day. But this doesn't appear to be the case. The only deal attendant that I wasn't able to ID was Claire, who does happen to look the youngest. But knowing now that these other women were of age, I feel more inclined to believe that maybe the women shown on the channel weren't actually victims of the operation, or at the very least they weren't children. But obviously I can't say this for certain. And that's not to say that that wasn't happening behind the scenes, of course. This just adds another layer to this mystery.
You know, when it comes to him even like having to add like that last bit of it though, it's like it's just really crazy that like, yeah, the retardation is that bad, bro. He even had to mention that, bro. Yeah, this was a good video though. It was alright, but it was good. So yeah, TSG over, under, and out.